Hi everyone, I'm Eric.
I'm Shampoo. I'm the lead developer of WalkScape. WalkScape is a MMORPG that is inspired some classic games such as RuneScape, but the main difference between WalkScape and other MMOs is that in WalkScape, every type of progress that you do in the game requires you to walk into real life.
So here I am looking at the world map. This game is gorgeous. It has many different continents with lots of different visual styles. Different themes. It really is based after the heart of RuneScape. I'm going to start off showing you actually this kind of the starter area in the game and give you a concept of how this works. So I'm going to zoom in here on where I am. I'm in Disenchanted Forest here. As you can see, there's lots of gorgeous artwork in this game. But in order to do something, you need to click onto one of the activities. In here, I have two activities. I have cut pine trees and cut birch trees. So I'll get started cutting pine trees. As you can see, it shows how many steps are required for me to cut one pine tree. Every activity in this game is tied to real world steps. Shampoo, I was hoping you could tell a little bit about the focus of the game in terms of steps and what that provides to people in their everyday life.
Everything in the game requires you to walk into real life, but we also there are some similar types of games, such as Pokemon Go, but the main problem with those games that I've seen is that you need to be glued to the screen. So WalkScape is very different from those, that when you go and do some walking, you actually can shut down the game entirely and open it up again when you get back home.
And this game is not only a fantastic fitness motivator, an interesting MMO, but it actually has really gorgeous artwork. So here's one of the first characters. It's actually kind of the tutorial area. I won't go through it now. I'll let you do it yourself. But he has a shop full of a whole bunch of useful items. You can get some starter gear. You can get some tools. And so it's a very good place to start in the game. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the process of gathering materials, processing materials, and making a gathering tool. So as I just illustrated to you here, to gather resources, you click on one of these nodes and away it goes. It keeps on gathering and it keeps on gathering. I am going to take us to the capital. The capital of this particular region is called Kalaheim. In order to travel in this game, you do so by actually walking in real life. So I'm going to click on Kalaheim and it tells me that it's going to take me 300 steps to travel there. So I'm going to click travel. For those of you that are wondering right now, I'm on like a treadmill walking pads. And it says at the very bottom, there are 292 steps until arrival. One of the questions a lot of people ask is, what do I need technically? Like what are the ways that I can rack up steps? Can I use my phone? Can I use my smartwatch? Shampoo, what are the options in the game right now?
Currently, the game only supports the pedometer of your phone. A question that we get very often is that will there be smartwatch support? And it is definitely planned that we add support for example, Apple Watches and Samsung Gear and so forth.
This game is also, it's a beta game right now. So what does that mean? Like, is there going to be a wipe? Does the progress keep going from here? What's the story with that?
WalkScape is currently in closed beta. So what this means that there are these what we call invite waves. During these wave periods, you can get access to the game either by applying for the beta access or by supporting the development on Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee. After the closed beta ends, there's going to be one wipe when we transition from closed beta to open beta. But in open beta, there will be no more character wipes. And this is because we are experimenting with a lot of like MMO features, especially when trading will come into the game. We want to have fresh start with the economy and also give fair shot to the new players when you can just download the app from any app store and start playing. We want to make it fair and square for every new player starting.
That's great. Well, we've arrived in town, so we're going to continue the next part. So here in town, we have Kalaheim. This is the capital of Jargonia, which is the starting province. We have a number of things to look at. So the first thing we'll look at is the type of NPC shops that we have. Each and every shop is carefully created, wonderfully crafted by our artist, Max Chill. Each character has a personality because a big part of this game is going to be questing. It's not just a glorified fitness app. It's actually an in-depth MMO, and we'll explain those features as we go along. Here's a shop. As we've said, different shops have different characteristics, different personalities. And here's the bank. You can fully withdraw and deposit all your gear. But we're going to move down here to services. There are 3 services here: basic forge, basic kitchen, basic sawmill. Basic forge would be your smithing. So for example, I have some coal here, and so I could make some bars. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into my bank. I am going to withdraw some coal and some iron so I can make some steel bars. And I will show you how that progress works. I'll grab 10 of these, 30 of these. I will also grab some maple for later because we're also going to want to process some of that. So I'll grab 30 maple. So now in my inventory, you can see the stacks of resources are typically up to 25. Gear is typically up to 10. I'm going to start by making some steel bars. So I'm going to click coal because that's one of the resources I want to work with. And then I'm going to click steel bars. I can decide how many of them I want to process. So based on the resources I have right now, I can make up to 5 of them. Now this might feel very micromanagey. It's like you're only going to do like 360 steps. Well, generally in the game, you would mine for a while. You'd have hundreds of resources, and then you'd make hundreds of bars at a time. Kofi Jab 88 says, how many character classes are planned for combat? And since he mentioned combat, could you talk about combat in this game and what that might look like?
The combat will be inspired by some of the classic JRPGs, mainly something like Final Fantasy games, and from more recent ones, Octopath Traveler. I'm a huge fan of those old school turn-based JRPGs, so something like that. And we are going to call them like maybe classes, but like those in those games, they worked as jobs. I'm not sure how many there are going to be for combat, but the thing that we are certain is that you're not locked into one, so you can freely change and level up a different class. There's not going to be a necessity to create multiple characters to try out each of the classes that are going to be in the game.
So I guess it's going to be like RuneScape then, where you'll have like your magic skill, for example, and you can go and you can invest into magic and build up your magic skill, and that would just be one part of your character. Is that correct?
There are going to be distinctions between, like, there are going to be combat stats, are what we call them. Those are like in RuneScape, you have strength, attack, and so forth. But then the jobs itself will be leveled up via the combat system, so by playing combat. Whereas the combat stats are going to be upgraded by walking in real life.
So I'm done making some of my steel bars, as you guys saw. So I'm now going to start making some planks. I have enough wood for 15 planks. I don't think I need that many, so I'll tune it down. I'll probably just make 504 steps. Mr. Rhino says, any plans for adding friends and keeping up with each other's progress? Any thoughts on that, Shampoo?
That is actually something we are working on right now. So we are hoping that the next big update to the game that is going to come is called Sarenthia update. We are hoping to include that system into that update, or if it's not possible, then shortly after it, there's going to be a friend system. Your friends in the game, or from like your real life friends, or people from Discord or whatever, and you can see their kind of like the leaderboards now in the game, but with your friends only, and also your closest friends you can add into a group of people that we call your party, and those people you will be able to see on the in-game world map that you've been seeing here on the stream as well. And
fantastic. You
will have your challenges with your friends, challenge to meet a certain step goal with your party.
Kofi Jab 88 says, will there be a joint hunt with friends in caves or on monsters?
It is something that we have definitely been planning, that for instance, the turn-based combat system that we have already planned, that would work pretty well with up to like 4 players. So definitely something we are keeping in mind of, that we would love to support those kind of like combat encounters with your friends. But also what we've been planning is world events. Something might pop up in the map of WalkScape, and then you and any other people can go there and do an activity together where everybody is contributing to the activity and trying to complete it before it ends.
So I've got my mats, I've processed these bars, steel bars, I've processed maple planks, and those are the resources that are required to make steel hatchets and pickaxe. So I'm gonna click in the game. I'm gonna go over here to Traversal. I think this is a very appropriate time to talk about itemization in the game. While you're doing an activity in the game, you get treasure boxes. These treasure boxes that drop are specific to the activity that you've been doing. So as you can see here, I have some agility chests and some mining chests. While I was doing mining in the game, you have about 1 in 200 chance every time you get an item to drop to get a mining chest. These little chests contain much of the gear you need to improve your efficiency, to make you better at gear, and there's special gear for every single skill. They have their own slots for everything. I particularly mine in the game, so I'm gonna open a mining chest. We're gonna see what comes out of it. There we go. We got a couple pieces of gear out of here. So I got some mining boots and a mining shovel. So let's go into our items and look at them. So here are my steel toe boots. These can be worn for both mining and for smithing. As you see here, it gives a work efficiency bonus boost to both mining and smithing. For example, when you start coal, you might be at 60 or 70 steps for coal. But as you gear up, you might bring coal all the way down to 45 steps per coal. And that's a huge efficiency bonus. The stuff you wear on your body, some of them are purple, some of them are blue, and those are the rarities of the item. So for example, in the mining chest, you can get legendary, epic, common, and rare gear. What's fun about that is, for those of us that have played a lot of these gacha games where they want to steal your money, they're often trying to get you to buy loot boxes for gear. So in this game, there's absolutely zero way to use your real world money to gain an advantage in this game. Could you talk a little bit about how you plan to monetize the game to help it stay competitive and fair?
How we're going to do it is that you can try out the game for free. So you'll be able to download it and try the first 2 regions of the game without needing to pay. So you'll know what you're paying for. And then there's going to be a affordable monthly subscription to unlock the whole game world. Or if you want to play it single player, there's going to be a one-time purchase.
Right now in closed beta, if you want to gain access, what you need to do is you need to wait until a closed beta period where people who create an account on WalkScape.app, WalkScape.app, you make an account. If you support through Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee, even for as little as $3, you will have complete access for the entire closed beta, which could be like 6 months to a year. We're not sure exactly. There's a list of amazing features they want to implement first. When that's done, then we move into exactly what Shampoo just mentioned, which is the monetization strategy. It's kind of like RuneScape. You have this free area and you have this monthly membership area. Are you planning to add any kind of microtransactions to this game that would, I don't know, you could buy a skin or you can buy like a boost or you get double experience for an hour? Are you planning to do any of that?
No, we don't have any plans for microtransactions. We've been playing around with the idea, like if you really want to support more than the monthly subscription, you could buy some, maybe some kind of cosmetic, but there's not going to be like any kind of gacha mechanics.
And that's one of the reasons why I love this game. I'm a very competitive player. If I work really hard, like let's say I build up my economy and get lots of valuable resources, I don't want someone running in with a bigger credit card instantly surpassing all my hard work. I want to feel that what I've gotten is meaningful. Here we are, we're in Traversal home. I'm going to go into basic workshop. I'm going to click on my steel bar and I have 2 choices. I can make a steel hatchet or a steel pickaxe. It says that I need 2 steel bars and I need 1 maple plank. We've already processed those together, so that's why I have them there. Then at the bottom, it tells you what you're going to get. I'm going to get a steel hatchet, which requires level 31 crafting. It also tells me how much experience I'm going to get from completing this action, which is 117. So here we are crafting. Okay, so I will show my tools, my tool section now. I've shown you my gear section. One person did ask about my bat rings. There are some items, such as the bat rings, that only drop as a rare drop from specific locations. So one of the mining locations is called Spelunking. It's kind of like an end game mining location. I got this as a rare drop from Spelunking. Your primary tool is going to provide a significant source of your stats. So right here at the top, I have an item called Shovel Axe. It is a legendary tool that's used for both mining and wood cutting. As you can see, like straight up at the very top, it has like 65% work efficiency. You're gonna get a really big chunk of stats from your primary tool. And that's what I'm crafting right now. It says after that, find gems. And there's a whole bunch of stats. One of my stats is called double action. It makes me go more frequently and try and do attempts faster. So it's really important to try to get the tool that will benefit you the most in the skill. Everything you see below this actually did drop from chests. So chests do drop tools. It depends on the skill you're doing. And that's part of the fun. You have to say, okay, there's a particular tool I want. Maybe you go to the wiki and you can go and you can see all the skills and it will tell you where you can get all the gear. And then you can say, okay, I just got to keep going. Maybe we'll drop from a chest, or this one actually drops as a rare drop. I should go to that spot and do that skill a lot. Looks like we finished. I got 2 normal steel hatchets. And these steel hatchets have 38% work efficiency. If I wanted to, I could equip it. I can equip it in the place of my shovel axe. Now I am wearing my steel hatchet. Now I will go back to my shovel axe because I prefer that. It's got better stats on it. You're basically making choices on which items will I put in different places.